we didn't play well, and the it was just a lot of breakdowns. Too much one-on-one basketball. To their credit, I watch film, and they watch. They won 22 games last year and had just about their entire team coming back. They're different. Their bigs are good at the 5 spot and could score and pass and then they move the ball very well. They move without the ball. So they're a lot different than what we do every day in practice, and so I knew that it would be a challenge playing them, and I wasn't even particularly surprised the score was what it was at halftime. I think where the team started losing me some was just some of the decision making, as the second half wore on and into the overtimes, and how we did push the margin out, and then we stopped, defending, and and then we also had some shot selection problems, from guys that I don't typically expect to have that issue, but. I think it's good because it wasn't like some other games in the past that we played an exhibition. This was a legitimate opponent that I think has got some talent on his team and had a good plan. So it was. I think we'll get a lot out of this, and so we'll just we'll get back to work and try and move forward from it.
How had you felt about just the way things were going in recent practices coming into this?
Nothing to lead me to believe that we would, certain guys wouldn't perform as well as I would expect. And, I have a pretty high standard, for our seniors, our guards, and I just think those guys all in their own way just didn't quite have the type of game that I would expect them to play. I did see some positives, from Kamani, in the second half, and he had a nice steal and some rebounding stuff that we need, and didn't shoot it well in the first half. Had some good looks and didn't make it, but kind of bounced back from that. And the other guy was Remy. So for me, I would have been more surprised that they had some really positive minutes relative to our leaders. So I thought Remy's defense and his playmaking was good, and his spirit, on the bench, just his, when he wasn't in the game, late in the game, how he was, positively trying to encourage his teammates. So both those guys, for me, did very well, in their first game.
How much of the absence of Romello hurt your inside game tonight?
Well, it sure would have been a plus to have him, both in post defense and rebounding, and we got out rebounded by 14, and his ability to consistently finish, around the basket the way I've seen him do that. So he's a big part of what we're going to do.
What's his status?
His was a violation of team rules dating back to last year. He's had a great 6 months, but so we sat him due to something that happened last year. So he'll. He's game to game now, but we hope that he'll be in the lineup soon.
What does Remy Martin's speed allow you guys to do, maybe that you couldn't do last year?
It just gives me another guy coming off the bench to provide energy, provide a spark. You could see his burst of speed, getting to the rim and putting pressure on the defense, and then he loves guarding the dribbler. He gets very intense, hawking the basketball, and the enthusiasm he has for defense is something that I'm welcoming with open arms. Just his whole approach and attitude to defense, and we need more guys that take it that personal at that end of the floor.
Is it concerning that maybe the shot selection late in the game with 3 seniors, your guards out there? Is that concerning at this point to have that?
It's just, sometimes, no matter how experienced they are, I'm trying to reach deep down and give those guys a pass right now. I'm reaching really deep, but just, you would assume that better decisions would have been made. And I have a high standard for them because of what they've done and the careers they've had. So I'm hopeful they'll bounce back just like, we need to bounce back collectively. But certainly, I know that they wanted to play better, and they practiced at a level that, it's been very difficult for me to think that they would perform that way tonight.
What's Carlton's status?
Carlton is going through personal stuff as well off the court, and he's not with the team at the moment. But again, we're very supportive of what he's going through, and and we're hopeful to get him back soon.
So when you see Remy being the energy guy and talking about some of the seniors maybe not doing some of those things, what's that like after the game? I mean, is this like something that you use as an example moving forward? Because obviously November, December games are really important in March.
Yeah, you know what? I do think that the guards collectively got after it the best they could. The one couple of positives here, it's hard, again, I'm going to reach deep for positives right now, it was 6 charges we drew, which kind of would explain, the pressure that those guys and the energy they were expending guarding. Also, we forced them into 33 turnovers in the game. So our pressure, paid some dividends, and those guys, gave energy. I think more was like decision-making on offense with those guys, the seniors that I think, will improve, and I don't see that continuing like it was tonight.
Anything else?